Hey everyone, how's it going? Just going to talk about what's happening tomorrow. I'm just sitting in the hotel room right now, charging up a couple cameras and things. Alright, so here's the HRR, or HRRR, the High Resolution Rapid Refresh. I don't like to look too far into the future, but this one runs until 15 Zulu tomorrow, which is still in the early morning when you're looking at Central Daylight Time, which is where we are. I'm sitting in Elk City, Oklahoma right now, which is here. Amarillo is roughly in this area on the map, and this map right now we're looking at is the dew point map. So what you can see happening over here is we have more moist air advecting northward as the day goes on, and we have a developing thermal cyclone or a lee cyclone just on the other side of the mountains here in Colorado and New Mexico. The cyclone is going to come out like this. What we're also looking at is the development of a dry line in New Mexico, and this dry line is going to surge from west to east and set up somewhere between Amarillo and Elk City. So what we're interested in is what type of storms, if any, will be triggered on the dry line, and how is another feature up here, more possible convection, going to play into the whole thing. We have to consider that there's going to be a warm front somewhere in here. This is a triple point axis because a cold front will be latched to it, and we also have the dry line latched in over here. So whatever happens with this convection is going to be important, because you could have outflow coming this way. We could have ongoing early morning convection, which will change the lay of the land later on as opposed to what's forecast now. And will storms form? Will there be enough forcing on the dry line? I believe there will be, but that's something to look at tomorrow. Let's take a look at another map over here to give you a better idea. This is the 500, 850 and surface crossover wind fields. Again, what you can see happening over here is the 500s begin to veer from westerly to southwesterly, which is good for curvature in the hodographs. The other thing is that the surface wind fields are actually shifting towards the southeast, and the 850 wind fields are southerly or slightly southwesterly, which is good for mid-level inflow for moisture to support whatever storms, if any, do develop. We'll take a look at one of the map over here, and this is going to be the 700 millibar height temperature map with the wind field overlaid. What's going on this map is, let me just loop it since apparently it's not playing. What's happening over here is that you can see there's warmer air that starts out earlier in the day, and as the day progresses, the warm air shifts this way and cooler air begins to work in from west to east. The cooler air will march towards Oklahoma, and what will happen is instability, lapse rates will increase, and that's where the instability will come from, and we'll see Cape fields, the convective available potential energy, dramatically increase in this area here, and it'll drop off once we get into the dry air. The funny thing with dry lines is that they tend to be warmer on the other side, so the air in front might be 85 degrees Fahrenheit, but the air on the west side, the dry air, will actually be 90, 91. So it's warmer air pushing into cooler air, but the cooler air is where all the moisture is, and that's what feeds the storms. The dry line is dense and heavy, and it acts like a cold front, except it's not cold. It's just dry, hot air. One other map to consider over here is the 500 millibar wind fields, and what's interesting is you can see as the day or as the morning progresses, the wind fields actually increase over here. So we're looking for the possible development of a late afternoon evening jet streak in this area, and that'll actually greatly help support whatever storms do develop by aiding to sort of bend the updraft over and actually ventilate them. So we have a number of things going on. We won't really know what's happening until the surface maps come in tomorrow. And this is really one of those situations where you need to look at things as they progress and not fixate on models. Right now the models want to put a convective cluster in this area and blast it this way, which may or may not be correct. We'll see. But the models aren't actually popping much of any convection on the dry line, yet we've seen them do that before and they've been wrong. So it's interesting. We're going to have to watch things as they develop and sort of take things 1 hour at a time, look at the mesonettes and the real-time observations and make a call. I'm sitting in Elk City over here roughly, and I'm leaving my window to the west open, my window to the northwest open, my window to the north open, to the southwest, and if I do, which I highly doubt, but if for whatever reason I need to backtrack eastward, I can also do that. So that's my play right now. Anyway, hope everybody has a good night, and we will talk to you tomorrow morning.